What's up, everybody? This is Dan from The Greatest Story Ever Played, and I decided to break into the vault to, throw some bonus content out to you guys. So what's going to be coming up is from an old podcast Jordan and I used to do a few years ago, and it's us talking about the movie Stand By Me. So it's actually a pretty similar format to the video games we go through and give some info about it and then kind of recap it and discuss how we felt about it along the way and, some general thoughts at the end kind of thing. So that's kind of what's going to be happening. But yeah, I just figured I'd throw this out to you guys. So hope you enjoy and see you later. Glad to be back on and getting the podcast and really on one of the best Stephen King adaptations for sure.
Yep.
Spoiler alert already. I really, really like this movie. I've been looking forward to talking about it once we decided it, and yeah.
All sorts of feels. I don't know. It just feels like a classic movie.
Yeah.
To me.
It really does, and I don't know, with Stranger Things coming out in the last 2 years and stuff like that, these feels are even better, and then Stranger Things feels are even better because of this. They bounce off of each other.
Yep. Even it.
Yeah.
Where, it's a little different, but because it's premise is different, but
right.
Anything in the past 80s-ish, I don't know, 70s-ish, 90s, early 90s,
right,
with a bunch of kids doing something cool. It's all right, you sold.
Right. Oh, this is kind of a cool fun fact to start off too. This is based off of The Body.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about in a second, but that came out in 1982, but it came out in 1986. So this was Stephen King's not his first time, but one of his first times using these, this age of character.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like it was his, not prequel to it, but his, before. Okay, I've got these kids. This is what friendship at this age is like. Mm-hmm. And it was a good start and made a really good story. But then he's like, I got to go back to that. And then Pennywise and the Losers Club. And it's so cool.
So sweet.
So great. And it's just cool seeing them be so close to each other written-wise and stuff like that. And just hitting that same age so well. But, The Body is a super short novella that's 150 pages or something.
Yeah.
Or 200, but then, it's 1,000.
Yeah, it's substantially more.
Way more time with more kids.
A
just
lot
building
more
up.
kids.
Yeah, it's cool. But, yeah, I guess we should get into it, though.
Yeah, so with the production of this, it was directed by Rob Reiner. Whenever I think of Rob Reiner, I just think of South Park. They just... I don't know if you've seen that. They destroy him. Just destroy him.
Oh, man.
But anyway, he's a good director and directed Misery and The Princess Bride. And it's based on, like we said, Stephen King's novella, The Body, which came out in 1982. So Dan kind of already stole that from me. But
yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Whatever. So the cast, we got Will Wheaton as Gordie LaChance. And he was in Star Trek, The Next Generation, 85 episodes of that, actually. Toy Soldiers. Did he voice a toy? Or is he actually in the movie? I can't remember that movie.
I'm not sure either, to be honest. I don't remember.
He was in Toy Soldiers. Ready Player One audiobook.
Do you know what Ready Player One is?
No.
The movie's coming out in March, but
okay.
It's set in a future America, but everyone does online school and stuff like that, and so it's a VR type of thing. But Steven Spielberg's directing the movie that's coming out.
Oh, so it's probably pretty good.
Cool, and it's got all this 80s nostalgia and all this stuff
so
like that. But Will Wheaton does the
does he narrate the book?
Narrates the book. He's very good at it.
Hell yeah.
He's very good. Yeah, he's awesome. So he's a mega nerd, and so he's perfect to narrate it.
We'll have to see that movie then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We got River Phoenix as Chris Chambers. He was in My Own Private Idaho and The Mosquito Coast. Corey Feldman as Teddy DeChamp. He's in The Lost Boys, The Goonies, and Gremlins. So Lost Boys and Goonies are, in my opinion, classic movies.
Oh yeah.
Great.
He's in all the 80s classics.
Yeah, hell yeah. We got Jerry O'Connell as Vern Tessio, and he's in 69 episodes of Sliders and Jerry Maguire. And then we got Kiefer Sutherland as John Ace Merrill. He's gang leader. He's the gang leader.
Yeah.
And he's in 195 episodes of 24. and Young Guns. You've probably heard of Kiefer Sutherland before. So.
Yes.
And then the description of this movie is, after the death of a friend, a writer recounts a boyhood journey to find the body of a missing boy.
All right.
So let's jump into the recap.
Okay, so the movie starts off and you get to meet the boys. So the boys, yeah. And so you've got Gordie, Chris, and Teddy. They're up in their treehouse playing cards, and Vern shows up and doesn't know the knock, and you get him razzing them from the beginning.
Yep.
Vern's getting razzed from the beginning, and Vern tells him that I know where Ray Brower's body is, who was a kid who was their age, who went missing a few weeks ago. He was off picking berries by the train tracks, so he probably got hit by the train.
Yeah, assume so.
That was the thought, and it's kind of the talk of the town, because they're a pretty small town.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a kid their age who's gone.
Oh, yeah, so
it's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
And Vern knows about it because he overheard his older brother, who is part of Ace's gang of guys, that they actually saw the kid, 20 miles away or whatever after they stole a car. And so they can't tell that they found the body because they stole a car, and that's how they know.
Yeah.
Vern was underneath the porch digging for his pennies.
This is weird.
Because he buried a bunch of pennies and forgot where they were, so he's been looking for them. Which is great. You just get the total vibe already. Vern's a doofus.
Yeah, just an idiot nerd doofus.
But, of course, like all 12-year-old boys, wait, we get to go find a body? All right, let's do it. So they decide to set out the next day. And so you get them kind of talking to their parents. You see a little bit of their family life. And
none of them are very good.
Yeah, none of them have good families at all. Gordie's older brother, Denny, who was played by John Cusack, which is awesome to have him be the older brother who's like loved by his family. He died in a car accident like 6 months before.
Yeah. And
so Gordie's family is distraught, and basically Gordie's invisible because Denny was like quarterback. He was like the all-American brother, basically, and he's gone.
Perfect son.
Now he's gone, and Gordie's like a little weird kid.
Yeah.
And so him and Chris are going and getting supplies, and Ace comes across Gordie and Chris, and he picks on them for a bit, and he steals Gordie's hat, his Yankees hat that he got from his brother, which was dick move by Ace.
For sure. Yep. Pretty fucked up. Dead brother's hat.
I read in a trivia thing that I guess that wasn't in the show or in the movie, but I guess Ace just throws the hat away. He didn't even want it. He just was doing it to be a dick.
Wow.
Because you don't see the hat again, so I guess he just throws it away after that.
That's messed up.
Yeah, what a fucker.
Man.
Fucking Ace. Start their journey, and our first point of tension is that Teddy wants to dodge the train. And we saw it before this, but Teddy's the crazy one. He's got some mental issues. His dad is actually pretty abusive and burned part of his ear. Rough stuff.
Yep.
And his dad also stormed the beaches of Normandy. And so Teddy views him as kind of a hero because, storming the beaches of Normandy is heroic. So, but he's also an asshole. So
he's not perfect.
Not perfect at all. But so Teddy wants to dodge a train. And he's waiting quite a bit as it's getting closer. The whistle's blowing at him, and Chris ends up forcing him off and kind of rescuing him. And Teddy's pissed, super pissed at him.
Yeah.
For doing that. Then they make their first pit stop. They need to go buy supplies because they realize none of them bought food.
Yes, they're just that's a classic kid. Oversight. We're just on this crazy adventure, but we have no food.
Oh, it was perfect. It's like we plan on walking 20 miles, but no one bothered to bring food.
Yep, I'm just going to pick berries like, what's his name, Ray?
Yeah.
Just die.
Right. So they have to stop to get food, and there's Milo Pressman has a junkyard, which is supposedly guarded by a dog named Chopper, who responds to the command sick, and specifically sick balls, Chopper.
Yep.
So everyone's scared of the junkyard, but it's before opening time, so they think we can probably sneak across here. It'll be way faster. We'll get the food. Whatever. Gordie goes and gets the food. He's coming back. Unfortunately, Chopper is back. And so Gordie gets chased by choppers. He hears Milo yell, "Sick!" Chopper.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I heard him say, sick balls. Gordie runs, he hops the fence, and he turns around. It turns out Chopper is not that big.
Yep.
He's a regular dog.
But still, like, it just reminded me of the Sandlot, which...
Yes.
Say more about that later, but...
Yes, it does. Same total feel.
Mm-hmm.
They have an argument with him. Teddy teases the dog.
Yeah.
The junk man teases them.
Yeah.
And makes fun of them for having bad families.
Yep, and then...
Teddy freaks out.
Gets super pissed.
Yeah.
Just fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
After this, they continue their journey, and there's this really great scene. Maybe my favorite one, or one of my favorite ones, is Teddy and Vern are walking together, maybe 15, 20 yards ahead of Chris and Gordie. Mm-hmm. And each pair is having an argument. And they're totally different. Teddy and Vern are arguing about who would win, whether it was like Mighty Mouse or Superman or something like that. It was two characters who wouldn't fight each other. I don't remember.
Definitely Mighty Mouse.
It was Mighty Mouse was definitely one of them, but the other one was someone who would most certainly beat Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
What's Mighty Mouse? I don't even know what Mighty Mouse is.
I'm not 100%.
Probably a mouse,
I think it's
superhero mouse, probably.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a kid's cartoon from the 80s or something.
Yeah, it might have been Superman. He was around then.
Yeah, it was something like that. So that's their argument.
Yeah.
While as Chris and Gordie are arguing about what classes they'll take in high school. Because Gordie is smart and should take the advanced classes, and Gordie's like, no, I want to stay with you guys. I'll just take the, gen ed ones, whatever. I want to be with you guys. And Chris is like, no, fuck you. I can't let you do that. Like,
yeah.
I'm not letting you drag yourself down for us. Stuff like that. And then Gordie's like, all right, fine. Well, then you take the hard classes with me. Chris is like, I can't do that. I'm an idiot. And Gordie's like, no, you're not. And so, it's so great getting this argument of these kids who are going towards adulthood, and then even within each other, like some of them are still more childish, and some of them
arguing about stupid cartoons.
Yeah, versus arguing about their future.
The future, which is
really important,
substantial for sure.
Yeah, I really like this scene specifically. I thought that was great. Then they approach this bridge that's
pretty long.
Yeah, a quarter mile, half a mile.
Yeah,
it's like a big bridge for sure.
And it's like a bridge with a train tracks on it.
Yeah,
so it's not just a bridge. It's
right, and they've been following the train tracks the whole way. They get to this, and their option is, okay, we can cross this in 10 minutes, or we can go down the river, walk all the way down, walk down like 2 miles, and then walk back up. So either 10 minutes across or like 2 hours detour.
I'd choose 10 minutes every time too.
And so they choose the 10 minutes. They look and they're like, there's not a train.
Yeah.
And they go. Teddy and Chris are walking all fine. They're up front. Vern is in third place, and he's crawling on his hands.
Hates the heights.
Gordie is unfortunately behind him.
Yeah.
And then you hear the woo in the distance.
Yep.
And you see the smoke. You're like, oh, fuck.
God, this scene was so nerve-wracking, too. Like,
yeah.
You can just imagine being 12-year-old kids on this train track with, like, on both sides, I don't know, hundreds of feet below you is, like, this river or something. Like, I'd probably get seriously injured if you fell, and that's your only chance, is either fall or get hit by a train, essentially, and like...
certain death or likely death.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think if you fell that hard, you probably would fall or that you would die. Because I think that the water would be so hard when
depending on how you hit it. I mean, either way, you'd probably break something.
Yeah, I guess either like your legs or back or something.
Then if you break your back or legs and you're in the water, you're just drowned.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it might die either way. So,
or hit by a train. I'd probably take the train at those odds. Yeah, just end me quick.
Right. So they're going, the train comes, you hear it in the distance, you see the rails start to shake.
Which would be so creepy and nerve-wracking, especially for Vern, who's already...
freaking out.
Yeah, like God.
Teddy and Chris are maybe like 3/4 of the way through, so they just run to the end.
Yeah.
Gordie's freaking out at Vern. Get up! We have to go. We have to go. And he finally like gets Vern up, and they're running and just make it in the nick of time. The tension here is great for not being, it's not a horror story at all. It's a coming of age story, but you had this giant moment of fear, seeing it, experience like that feel. I felt the fear of the train, even though I know how this will end. I
It's
still
so
felt
uncomfortable. It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
For sure. It's one of those things where like, oh man, like you almost dread seeing this scene. Like, I've seen the movie twice, and like I dreaded seeing this scene. Like, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
But you kind of it's one of the best parts of the movie, but it's unpleasant to watch sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's nerve wracking.
It's well done.
Yeah, it's awesome. They continue their journey after the train, and more serious discussions continue. Chris is talking to Gordie again about how no one in the town could ever basically expect him to be anything but a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
His brother's a piece of shit who's in Ace's gang. His dad is a piece of shit who's like a drunk. Our family's always bad. They'll never think we're good. And they talk about this milk money that got stolen last year that Chris had gotten suspended for.
Mm-hmm.
And Gordie's like, Chris is complaining about how he got blamed for it and, all that shit. Gordie says, well, did you steal it? And he says, yes, I did steal it, but then I put it back. And the teacher stole it. And blamed me. And you saw that next week. The teacher had a new dress.
Yeah.
She used that milk money on that, and she just blamed me because no one was going to question it. And you see, like, the hurt in him that an authority figure betrayed him so hard that he tried to do the right thing and got fucked for it. Whereas if he would have just stole it, he probably wouldn't have got caught.
Probably not.
He maybe would have been suspected, but not caught.
Yeah.
As he did here. And and Gordie is trying to comfort him, but it's, again, just with this coming of age, seeing an authority be disappointing.
Yeah, it's kind of like the real world, Like,
Right.
Even your teacher, who's supposed to be on your side trying to help you learn and grow, can totally just screw you over and use your past to their advantage.
Right. And I think that, again, with the coming of age, because before this, I don't know, they're in middle school, they're in 8th grade or whatever, so I'm sure in, 4th, 5th grade, you never would have to encounter this yet. You're too young. Yeah. You still you only see the good. You're not experiencing this bad as much, and he's seeing it heading into high school even more and seeing that. Then comes my least favorite scene in the movie, and it grosses me out every time, which is they decide to wade through a swamp, and they realize that there's leeches. They all like undress, and they all are pulling leeches off themselves.
So gross.
Just super gross. And then Gordie reaches into his underwear.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a leech that had blood on it. Oh, it grosses me out now talking about it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I hate leeches. Basically from this scene even.
Yeah, no, from this movie. Again, with Stephen King ruining things, not that leeches didn't ruin themselves. They're gross no matter what. But this horrifies me every time. I don't think I'll ever walk in a swamp because of this movie.
You shouldn't. Even like a river. Like, I'm paranoid now.
Yeah, this movie scarred me.
Which leeches suck, and I would not want to get one on me. They're little worms that just... Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking gross.
Fuck that.
Yeah. So nasty.
But again, well done.
Yeah, well done. Again, using the visuals, using the terror. Again, very good. Then we go and catch up with Ace and his group of people, and Vern's brother ends up fessing up to knowing about where Ray Brower's body is, because Ace and friends are bored. They've been doing some mailbox baseball. That's been fun. They played chicken and ran a truck off the road. They're the fucking worst.
How old are they? They never really tell you, but...
I'm thinking they're 18.
Like high school.
Yeah, I think they're at the end of high school.
Okay.
Because I think you could drink when you're 18 then. So that's... Also, they drink in their cars all the time, which they are in a crazy world. Back then, people must have just been insane.
Or they just didn't care.
Yeah, because they're all just drinking beer while they're playing mailbox baseball. Like, if your mailbox get knocked down, you have to know it's Ace and friends.
Yeah, I know. It's small town. Like, okay, it's one of the 4 people that
it's obviously
do that.
Ace.
Stupid.
Fucking douche.
Yep.
But they decide to head out to the body because they want their face in the paper too. Just like our group of kids who were like, oh, we could get in the paper maybe, we'll be famous. These guys realized we would too, and we'll just bring some fishing gear to make it look like we were fishing. Instead of boosting cars.
Yeah, good plan, I guess.
Yeah, and that they could get there faster because they're driving instead of walking.
The car they stole.
Right. They don't know that our group is headed there, though. But
yeah, but they will get there faster.
Yes. So then Gordie, Chris, Teddy, and Vern... Oh, no. I totally skipped something that was important. I'm sorry. I'm backtracking, which was bad to do. But before this, they have a campfire, and, they're talking about varying silly things. But Gordie tells an excellent story of the guy who ate the pies. It was very funny. There's a pie eating contest, and then there's this fat guy who they call Lardass. Everyone makes fun of him in the town. Everyone. Most ridiculed character maybe ever seen in anything. Like he's walking and people are like, da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. I mean, it's awful. But he wants to get his revenge on them, so he enters the pie eating contest. And he does. He's doing the pie eating contest. And then he throws up on everyone midway through, and then everyone starts barfing on each other.
Because he took, he ate...
It was like vinegar and eggs or something?
Yeah, something, I forget.
So it allowed him to
nasty.
eat 2 or 3 pies and then just vomit profusely.
Yeah.
And this is where we first get our knack of that Gordie can write stories.
Storyteller, yep.
Storyteller. And it was great. And Chris really likes it, and Vernon and Teddy are kind of dumb, so they sort of like it, but they're like, well, it would have been cool if there was more guns.
Yeah. Okay.
You're missing the point. But, I would have been a bad person if I forgot to mention that, because it's also an iconic moment in this movie, just like the leeches and the train tracks.
Sets up Gordie being
a writer
in the future, which
in the future, yes. So Gordie, Chris, Teddy, and Vern find the body. They get there, and they see him, and it's like a somber adulthood, really. Experience. They were boys excited to go find a dead body, and then they found it, and it's
like, oh wow,
oh, he's dead. He wasn't just asleep. He wasn't whatever. He's dead. And that's huge. Them experiencing that and trying to kind of figure out what to deal. Then Ace and company show up to spoil the fun, and Ace wants to steal the body, and Gordie's like, nope, you can't take it. Chris is like, you can't take it. The rest of the guys show up too. Vern runs away almost immediately.
Yeah.
Teddy stays a little bit longer, but also runs away. And then Ace tells Chris he's going to kill him.
He pulls a switchblade out, doesn't he?
Pulls a switchblade on him. He's like, I will kill you if you do not let me take this body.
Yeah.
And Chris is like, you're going to have to kill me then. Gordie takes out Chris's gun, shoots it in the air.
Yeah.
Which stops everyone. And he points it at Ace and says, no one's taking it. No one's taking him. You can't do this. And Ace tries to con Gordie into giving up the gun. And Gordie says no. Ace says, you're going to shoot all of us? And Gordie says, no, just you. Just you, Ace. Ace backs off, and the gang leaves. And Chris and company decide to leave the body as well. They make an anonymous call to the police so they can come find it.
Just surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of, but kind of not. They at this point, they've kind of grown up kind of fair amount.
Yeah, no longer to just want dibs. They didn't want to just get in the paper because they found a dead body.
Yeah, it kind of hit them.
Yeah, they grew up, and so then you see them walk back, and so then you get them getting back into town, and they break off into their neighborhood. So Vern leaves, and then Teddy leaves, and it's just Chris and Gordie walking. And then it cuts to the present again with the writer writing with Gordie writing the story. And his son, who is their age, is like, Dad, can we go? Yeah. And he's like, 5 more minutes. And his son's friend is like, he said that a half hour ago.
Yeah.
And so Gordie's like, shit, that's right, I gotta do this. And a line that he writes to end his novel that I really like is, "I never had any friends like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone?" And it's such a great way for this to end. We've just done this journey with them, and then you see the newspaper that he has with them that says Chris Chambers was stabbed at a local restaurant trying to break up a fight. Mm-hmm. And so then he goes and gives like an epilogue speaking to kind of end it, and he says, Chris died at this restaurant trying to break up a fight between people and was stabbed and died instantly. Through high school, Vern and Teddy, we parted ways and didn't really see each other, but Chris did stay in the advanced classes with me.
Yeah.
And did make it through, and he became a lawyer.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's cool just seeing that their friendship still continued
mm-hmm.
beyond this story.
Mm-hmm.
Or, beyond going to see the body, that they kept being friends, even though Vern and Teddy did go away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so, that's the movie. Awesome.
Yeah, great.
It's so good.
Great movie.
One thing kind of off top is, which I guess spoiler, but the differences between the novella and the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The movie took everything that was good about the novella and cut all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
100%. In the novella, two things that were different that I'm glad were not in the movie is Gordie told more stories, but they weren't good. He had these stories about this guy named Chico who basically had sex with girls and stuff. And
Nice.
they weren't very good stories.
Okay.
They were dumb. So it was good that they weren't in there. Unnecessary. Just the lard-ass story was also in the book, but he just chose the one.
The good one, yeah.
He chose the good story.
Yeah.
Which was good. Also, an interesting thing, at the end of the book, in the epilogue, you find out that they all died.
Yeah, I was reading about that.
Vern dies in a house fire, and Teddy dies in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
And
Chris dies the same way, doesn't he?
And then Chris dies the same way, but it makes it a little more eerie, like death was haunting them or something like
mm-hmm.
that. Which is, it's okay, but this is, I think, a lot better, because it was way more on the coming of age rather than, being scarred from it. But instead, that weekend where these boys became men or whatever, that switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. Also, the switch of the name, Stand By Me versus The Body. Stand By Me is a far better name.
Yeah, because it's just more of... It encapsulates the feel more.
Yeah, and makes it like a movie that everyone could watch. Whereas The Body sounds like maybe a bad horror movie.
Yeah.
Even. And this movie was anything but that. It wasn't that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that was also a good switch. But, one thing that was in the book that I did like that would have been cool is, so Ace tells them, "I'm going to get you for, taking this body from me." Mm-hmm. And at the end of the book, all of them get their ass beat by Ace's group.
Mm-hmm.
Chris gets his arm broken, and it's fucked up. I think Gordie might get his arm broken too or something. Someone gets their arm thrown down and stepped on. They fuck them up.
Wow.
They all get jumped for not letting them take the body.
Wow.
Which I thought was, I don't know if the movie needed it, but it was kind of a fitting end to what Ace did to them.
Yeah. It's there's consequences for doing the right thing, quote unquote.
Yeah. Which I don't know if this needed that, but I thought it was an interesting thing. I like that it was in the book.
Mm-hmm.
But so those are a couple just quick differences.
Cool. Something that I've just noticed a lot, I guess generally with some of Stephen King's works, is just, I guess I'd call this bullying in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't know if that's accurate to how it was back then, but it's just way more intense.
Right.
Maybe because I've never really been bullied like that. Maybe people do experience that, which that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But Ace threatened to kill them, breaking their arms, and then comparing it to It too, with the bullies carving
Henry Bowers and them.
Yeah, and carving, about to carve his name in that, I forget his name.
And Ben, yeah.
Yeah, in his stomach. Holy shit! That's not bullying. That's a sociopath.
Yeah, way beyond it.
Yeah, so that's one thing that this reminded me of too. Was wow, okay, and we didn't see anything necessarily crazy, but Ace pulling a knife out and I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
Okay, you're not just a bully. You're a murderer.
Yeah.
Just very different.
Yeah, I liked in this one too that the versus Henry Bowers and his friends, like they were at like a 10 of like evil bully.
just all the time too. Yeah,
all the time. Whereas these guys, like Ace was that way. He never did anything, but like he probably would have. Like he was gonna poke Chris's eye with his cigarette in the beginning of the movie. He was gonna stab them, but then most of his friends were kind of like guys caught up in trying to be cool, almost like, oh yeah, we mailbox baseball, or like, you know, like some of them even being like give each other tattoos or something. But like, you know, some of them kind of being sissies, like, oh, we can't tell Ace Man, like,
yeah. Yeah, it just
Billy. When Teddy was making fun of him.
Yeah.
You know, like tell them they're peeing each other's pants or something. Like,
yeah.
So funny, but like, you know, like some of those guys weren't as evil, but like Henry Bowers, like carving, and for Belch and the other guy, I forget the third guy's name.
Yeah.
But you know, like those guys were like straight up.
They were same level.
Yeah, same, like just behind Henry Bowers. Like Henry Bowers was a 10, but they were like an 8.
Yeah.
And being complicit. Whereas these guys,
Ace probably 8 or 7.
Yeah, and then these guys would be complicit at like a 5 or something.
Yeah,
like
which is still pretty bad.
Which is bad, but like more real world feeling.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because the It bullies, especially the first time when we watched the first It, the miniseries, they felt like out of this world evil.
Yep.
And it was almost confusing.
Yep.
But these ones I thought were more grounded in reality. But yeah, the Stephen King bullies are vicious though.
Yeah, and I guess I don't have enough experience with other books and things from this written in this time period,
right?
Or about this time period to know if that's just a common thing or if that's just Stephen King's like thing he likes to do.
I wonder if The Outsiders is set in this time frame. Have you read that book?
No.
It's about like Pony Boy was one of the characters, but they're
sounds familiar.
They're kids who are like this age, but they're like in gangs and like I think they had like knives and brass knuckles and shit like that. So maybe like, and I think it was set in the 60s also. So
interesting.
I wonder if the 60s was just a little bit more rough too than
I guess so. It might have been.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Same with you. I don't have much experience with bullying either, and growing up in this day and age.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't really that way.
Yep, no, definitely not.
Yeah, not a lot of fist fights at my elementary school or something like that.
Yeah, no, or stabbings or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. We spoke about this a little bit, but the theme of just the kids' conversations, their emergence into adulthood, I just really liked how this movie did this. I wish I would have wrote down specifics, but their time around the campfire before Gordie told the story, they had a lot of different things too that they talked about, like, okay, like, what is Goofy? Or
yeah,
that was like one of the things, like, is he a dog?
Yeah, no, fair. I've wondered that too.
Yeah, it's funny that was a question. Then like other questions that would be, this wasn't one, but like, what happens after you die? Like,
yeah,
you know, they had that variance of questions, or you know, Chris and Gordie's talk on the train tracks, like those things, and it's just so great. Just I feel like they just really encapsulated like this transition so well, and it makes you like long for that childhood time, like Stranger Things. Same thing, like you remember those times fondly, and you almost remember it vicariously through these guys. Like, I didn't grow up in this time frame.
No, yeah, I never even did stuff like this.
No, right. I never wandered around. There were woods in my backyard that behind my house that I used to wander around in, but I never wandered in like a train track or like looked for a dead body or something crazy like that. But this makes you feel like that. Like it puts you and you remember, like it makes you feel like you're 12 and you're doing this too, which is great. But then also you have the you now where you're an adult and you can process things that way too. And so I don't know. It just does so good at letting you be both, like these characters were. And the actors did a great job of showing it too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. This just movie reminds me a lot of The Sandlot.
Yeah.
Like the same, even like the epilogue, the friendships, maybe not as much the dialogue.
Sure.
Like, I think The Sandlot's less focused on like coming of age. It's more of kids baseball and I don't know. But there's a lot of similarities to me. Like the dog, the kids, the friends, the interaction, the epilogue. People go separate ways, but two kind of remain friends.
Right.
Like, it just gives me the same feels as The Sandlot.
Oh yeah, it's so good. There's something about the coming of age time frame. It's just so good.
If it's well done.
Yeah, if it's well done.
Yeah.
There could be very much so crappy versions of this too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I haven't seen any, but...
Yeah, and with it, same thing too.
Yeah.
With the new one especially,
Yep.
that we talked about a while ago, but same feels.
Yep.
Thanks for listening again. Hope you enjoyed that blast from the past, just breaking something out of the vault. If you'd like to hear us talk more about Stephen King stuff or movies or, just whatever in general as bonus episodes, that'd be great to know. And maybe we could put more of these out. But yeah, hope you like that. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do that on Twitter at StoryEverPod. You can go to our website, thegreateststoryeverplayed.com. That's got all our episodes, video game episodes, but then also links to the bonus ones that are on YouTube exclusively and stuff like that, like this. And that'd be awesome. If you'd like to support the podcast financially, you can do that at patreon.com/thegreateststoryeverplayed. For as little as $1 a month, that will give access to kind of topical episodes, mostly about video games, like our favorite Pokemon or our favorite games from childhood. Or if you'd like to just support the podcast by getting the word out more, that would be super helpful, whether that's just telling friends online or if you'd like to rate and review us at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, that'd be a big help. But hope everyone's doing well, and see you next time.